guys! Okay, so I just got back from seeing New Moon. Here's my ticket. It says Twilight at the bottom because in France it's called Twilight Chapter 2 Tentation. So yeah, so there it is, the 18th of the 11th. Yeah, so I'm living in France at the moment and New Moon comes out 2 days before it does in the UK and the US. I was looking online earlier on actually at some of the dates. I don't know how some people are going to be able to wait until like December and January. I seriously couldn't wait that long. Anyway, most of you already know this, but because you follow me on Twitter or I've talked about it in the past. But if you're watching this video and you don't normally watch my videos, basically that's why I've seen New Moon earlier. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do a general review because I know there are a lot of people on Twitter telling me that they don't want spoilers. So I'm not going to be specific or anything like that. I'm going to be really general about what I think about the film as a whole. And then I'm going to give you a warning, and then I'm going to talk about some things that may be spoilers to you if you haven't read the books, or you might just not want to know about how the film carries the plot line out. So I will give you plenty of warning, and then if you don't want any spoilers you can just close this video and I won't have ruined anything for you. Okay? Deal? Okay, so first of all, did I like it? Yes. It's really difficult to say with Twilight because obviously I'm going to like it because I like Twilight. Yeah, I read the books. I'm not under any illusion that they are great works of literature by any stretch of the imagination. They're just really decent books to read, good storylines, well written, kind of really drag you in. Nothing innovative, it's not something that's like really groundbreaking or new, but they're good fun reads, and it's a great little kind of universe that Stephanie Meyer, who knows, that she's created. I'm always going to like the films to a certain extent. Just a little bit of background, I didn't enjoy Twilight the first time I watched it. I was really angry. Like you do when you read a book, you have a way that you want it to be set out, and I personally think that Catherine Hardwicke created a really beautiful visual world for Fawkes, for the Cullens, for Bella, for the whole shebang. But so visually she created this really strong image and it was spot on, but maybe for whatever reason I don't think she was the right director. I enjoyed 13. I've liked, so it's not like I didn't enjoy her previous work, but I just didn't feel like that she was right for that film. There were a lot of things that I thought were really off about Twilight. Some of the acting, I hate to say it, some of the acting was very dodgy. I hated the score, not the soundtrack, the score, the weird strange like tense music that was going on. I wasn't feeling that. And some of the scenes were just ridiculous and people laughed in the cinema, which isn't the desired effect, or I don't think that was Catherine Hardwicke's desired effect. Anyway, new director, new film, and I was kind of hoping that the actors would have found their feet a little bit more, that they would have feel more at home in their characters, that maybe some of those awkward moments that I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was but weren't quite right in Twilight would have been resolved, and then it would be different. To an extent that was true. The actors seemed a little bit more at home in their characters, but it was still really hammy, if I'm completely honest. Like, some of the acting was really like, I don't know. There were a lot of moments in the film, and I'll talk about them in a little bit more detail later on. There's some moments in the film where people just laughed in the cinema, and I really don't think we were meant to be finding it amusing. So that was a little bit weird. Yeah, I mean, the Volturi looked very cool. I really like what they did with the Volturi. I thought the whole look, everything was really cool.
Michael Sheen.
Alex liked Michael Sheen. Yeah, so I really like that. But yeah, it was just there were the problems that I felt came along with Catherine Hardwicke directing. I felt like there were a whole new set of things that weren't quite right, that I couldn't put my finger on. maybe I'm just being picky because, you know, you always want it to be perfect when you've read the book and you really have this set image of how everything's going to happen in your head. But honestly, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was perfect. It was far from it, because like I say, people were laughing. It was a little bit uncomfortable. If you remember in Twilight, the scene where where Bella walks into the classroom and the fan blows her hair and like the scent reaches Edward and he's kind of like, that moment that made everyone laugh in Twilight, that was meant to be in the book, like, it wasn't meant to be a humorous moment. That happened a lot in New Moon. Maybe it's just France. Maybe we just found it more funny. I've no idea. But it was that kind of stuff that you can't quite put your finger on. Something's not quite right. Like, something just doesn't add up. Okay, so I'm going to stop now because there's so much I want to say and I feel like I can't say it. So if you really don't want any spoilers, click off this now, go see New Moon, and then come and watch it. Yeah? Okay, so basically, you know I love Carlisle. There wasn't enough Carlisle, basically. And he had a mullet as well. He's kind of got a mullet going on. Apart from that, Jasper, I think he maybe only had like 2 lines the whole film, maybe 2 or 3. And he was so hammy the whole time. And it's not necessarily a reflection on the actor, I think. It was just really weird. It was, you know that weird look that he does where he's like, the whole time in Twilight? Well, it's like they asked him to play on that a bit more and do that on purpose. So in New Moon, like as soon as the camera shot to him, everyone burst out laughing. Jacob, as soon as Jacob came on screen with his long hair, which by the way was like down here, it was like much longer. As soon as he came on the screen, everyone started to laugh. I felt really bad. I was like, don't laugh at Jacob. What else? What else, Alex? What else?
The werewolves.
The werewolves. Yeah, I kind of felt like when I watched the trailer anyway, you'll have seen them in the trailer. Like, they look kind of... If you've seen Brother Bear, that Disney film, they kind of remind me more of something from Brother Bear than something that's really menacing. I don't know. They look a bit too friendly. And in the film, they looked a bit more menacing in the film than they did in the trailer, but still, I just... I found it a bit weird. And also, there's this bit when they're at the Volturi and the Volturi are gonna kill Bella. There's this at the point where Alice intervenes and says, "No, don't kill Bella. She's gonna become one of us," and she proves that it's gonna happen. There's like this bit where Alice's vision is shown on the screen, and it's like Edward's wearing like these pale clothes and he's like running through this like field, and Bella's like with him, and they're like da 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 da, and all the wind's blowing in the hair, and they're like catalogue pose. It's really weird. That was a bit odd, and everyone laughed at that. There were lots of things that people laughed at that were just, I'm not really sure. But it was all good fun, don't get me wrong, it was all good fun. They weren't laughing like, oh, this is awful, but if you felt like Twilight was a bit off, you're gonna think that New Moon is off as well. But it's still fun, let's face it, we love it. Yeah, I'll buy the DVD, I'll watch it a million times. I'm gonna go watch it again next week when my mum comes out to see me. So it's not like I didn't enjoy it, I really, really did. It's just that I was just kind of hoping that, I don't know, I was just hoping for something a bit more, but I did really love it. Oh, by the way as well, at the end, they end the film on a cliffhanger. If you don't want to know what the cliffhanger is, then stop watching. But you've already said you wanted spoilers, so I'm going to tell you anyway. At the end of the film, Edward asks Bella to marry him, and then it just goes off, which I kind of merge all the books together now that I've read them all, but he only proposes in Eclipse, doesn't he? So I don't know, maybe they just wanted that cliffhanger. So yeah, that was a weird note to end it on, but it works, I suppose. So yeah, I really did enjoy it, I really enjoyed it, but it was so funny because we got to the cinema just as the film, it started at 1940 at 7:40. We got there at 7:40, and there were no seats left apart, so me and my boyfriend had to sit separately, and he had to go and sit next to this girl who was with other girls, so she thought that he was some crazy like freak loner pervert like sitting next to her, and I had to go and sit with these girls, and they thought I was a complete weirdo loner who'd gone to see Twilight on her own. So that was a bit uncomfortable, so I spent the whole film just like, but I did enjoy it, so I'm gonna go again next week. Yeah, obviously it's not like I'm gonna say that I would recommend it, because obviously I recommend it as a Twilight film and you're all going to go and see it regardless, but I just thought I'd let you know my thoughts on it. Yeah, hopefully you'll love it like I did, even if some of the acting's a little bit hammy and even if it's a little bit weird in places, but hopefully you'll love it. Yeah, the Volturi are really, really cool, and like there's this one shot where Jane, Dakota Fanning, like takes them in the down in this lift, and it's such an amazing shot, and that was probably my favourite bit of the whole film, was them going down in this lift, in this elevator, and the Volturi are like Jane's in the front, and Bella and Alice are kind of looking at one another like scared, and Edward's looking all pale and like looking like crap because he's been really depressed and he's only just realised that Bella's still alive, and yeah, it's just a really good shot, so watch out for that, because that was my favourite bit probably. It just looked really cool, and I loved the way that they were in a lift with like the metal doors, and yet they were in the, you know, Jane was wearing her like cloak kind of thing, and they were in this, obviously the Volturi's big castle, but yet it had this lift, and it was kind of like old and new, and it looked really good visually. It was really good. What else? Everything with the Volturi actually, when Bella's trying to stop Edward from exposing himself. That sounds really rude, but you know what I mean. Exposing himself, exposing his sparkling skin. When she's trying to stop him doing that, that's quite tense. The only thing is, Alex pointed this out as well. The way that Ashley Greene plays Alice in that part makes it seem like she's not bothered about Edward. Like when she goes to the Cullens, when she goes to this Bella's house to see Bella and make sure, well, she thinks she's dead. When they get the phone call from Edward, she's like, oh, it's Edward, he's going to kill himself, quick, we've got to go. And she seems really concerned, and then when they actually get there, Bella's like, we've only got 5 minutes, and she's like, Bella, just calm down. And I know that she can read the future and stuff, but it's... she doesn't know what's going to happen, does she, at that point? Because she thinks he's gonna, I don't know, like even she is unsure in the book at least of what's gonna happen, but she just didn't seem that concerned. I don't know, it was a little bit strange. Anyway, I'm gonna go now because I'm blabbing on and on. Good Tom York song. That's Alex's input. Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen, Tom York. Alice wasn't bothered. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go now, and I will speak to you soon. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my vlog channel as well. No, I won't, 'cause it's too long. Okay, so I'm gonna go now, but enjoy New Moon, enjoy life. I'll see you soon.